everyone, seeing how later this year we're going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of Scooby Doo, a series of cartoons that's still doing pretty well with every new incarnation, I figured for the next few episodes we take a look at the series past. But seeing how we simply can't do the good ones just yet, we gotta get through the bad ones first. That being said, welcome to the Scooby Doo live action marathon. To start off, we're going to be taking a look at the first two movies that were released in theaters, those being Scooby Doo and its sequel Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. I haven't seen either of these since I was a kid. I think the last time I saw these two was roughly 10 years ago, so I'm going into these with fresh new eyes, which is always very interesting to do. I've done this before last year with Max Keel's Big Move and Snow Day, and I said both were good despite some bumps along the way. But now will these two be the same after rewatching them? Well, that's what we're going to find out here today. This is Scooby Doo. Now, if you've seen any episode of the cartoon, you would know that the gang would see the monster and our ghost, and come up with a plan to trap it. But the movie says the hell with that and throws us right into the action without any information on this mystery. As we see Daphne, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, being carried away by a ghost.
Guys, hurry it up! This ghost keeps grabbing. Ah!
A very pervy ghost. We also see Velma, played by Linda Cardellini, and Fred, played by Freddie Prinze Jr. Well, we can already guess why he was casted, as they both go over how they think the plan is going to work out. In the meantime, we get to see Scooby Doo in live action, and... yeah, it's not that good. Sure, as a kid, I thought this looked great, but if I were to pet this dog, I think I would only feel the textures they use on this model. We also get to see Shaggy, played by Matthew Lillard, and I do have to admit that he does a pretty damn good job capturing the likeness of the character. Hell, even many years after this movie's release, he's still voicing the character to this day.
You're damn right he does!
The hell was that?
Over here, you scrub!
Who are you?
I'm 420 Shaggy Lover 69, a dank memer who loves memes of one Shaggy Rogers from Scooby Doo and nothing else.
Wow, you must get picked on a lot in school.
Nope, not when I have Shaggy, aka the demigod, on my side.
The what?
Oh, come on! You must have heard about the memes, or as I like to call it, the lore, of one demigod known as Shaggy.
Not really, no.
Blasphemy! One does simply not know about this powerful man!
Maybe because I have a life and don't look up memes of a cartoon character?
Just to look him up and experience the beauty of this saint.
Fine.
See the way he makes people cower in fear. Look at the way he takes up Thanos. Can't wait to see that in Avengers Endgame.
So these are pretty much making Shaggy to be this incredible man that can...
Demigod!
Whatever. These are just making us think that he could do anything?
Yup, isn't it a marvelous thing to see?
Nope. In fact, these are just a take on the memes that were made about Chuck Norris.
No they're not. These are more current, popular, and helps me and the squad stay more lit af, fam.
Okay, you know what? I'm getting distracted. Back to the movie. The plan goes off the rails as the ghost starts to chase Shaggy and Scooby.
He's right behind the skateboard!
Like, whoa, I didn't know that Shaggy can also skateboard. He must be a hidden character in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Nah, I'm pretty sure it's just a stunt double who can also skate.
Oh, come on! If we can get Shaggy to be a fighter in Mortal Kombat 11, I'm also sure that we can get him in a skateboarding game.
Wait, people want Shaggy to be in the new Mortal Kombat?
Oh yeah! People have already signed a petition for him to be an upcoming fighter.
This can't be true. Let me look this up. I hate the internet sometimes. Actually, the only thing I'm getting out of the skateboard scene nowadays is from Shaggy hoping that Scooby isn't getting too excited from all of this. Because the one thing scarier than getting chased by a ghost is your best friend's head touching the back of your head.
Grab the hook!
So they catch the ghost, unmask him, when all of a sudden Pamela Anderson comes in. Then again, this series has had some bizarre cameos before, like the Three Stooges, Dick Van Dyke, Don Knotts, and even freaking Batman of all people. But here, the cameo just feels pointless. And another thing. Did they just leave the keys in the van? I mean, look at the scene again. It's a 10% chance that Anderson would come in through the wall, but the other 90% is the chance of a druggie just driving away in it, making the van their new home.
Fred, I can't believe you took credit for my plan again.
Some plan? The ghost pawed me for an hour and a half.
Daff, look. It's not our fault you always get kidnapped.
I do not always get kidnapped.
So apparently because of some issues inside the gang, Fred, Daphne, and Velma decide to quit, leaving Shaggy and Scooby behind. Just to clarify that we're only about 10 minutes in, and we now get the cliche of a team splitting up. You'll think this should be near the halfway mark of the film. Anyway, the film transitions 2 years later, as Shaggy and Scooby are living the high life, beach bumming it, and cooking food inside the van. But the establishing shot really doesn't make it look like they're cooking. Would it surprise you that this was supposed to be rated PG-13? Because it will make this part so different. Like Scoob, we're totally 420 blazing a man!
Oh yeah, I free you, fam.
I'm looking for a Mr. Rogers and a Mr. Dew. The detectives?
Like, it's probably just somebody else looking for us to solve some terrifying mystery.
Nobody home.
Quick, Scoobo, grab the food out and let's scramble.
I'm looking for a Mr. Rogers and a Mr. Dew.
I'm sorry, dude. Look, I'd love to help you out. You look like a really nice guy. It's just we're not detectives anymore.
The two get an invitation to a place called Spooky Island, as it also turns out that the rest of the gang got the same invite, making that split up that happened a couple of moments ago entirely pointless. We also see how Scooby's gonna get onto the airplane.
They don't allow big dogs on the plane.
I have no comment.
You've got to be kidding. No one is stupid enough to believe that.
I think we should have a peek at the writing for this movie. While on the plane, Shaggy begins to have the hots for a passenger on her way to the island played by Elsa Fisher. They immediately hit it off because of one thing. It just so happens that they both love eating Scooby snacks.
Far out! I have never met another person who loves Scooby snacks.
Me neither.
I'm Mary Jane.
I'm sorry, what's her name?
I'm Mary Jane.
Of course it is. Hey, let me introduce you to my other friends, Electros, Nachos, and Anastasia Steele. Seeing how Shaggy and his Mary Jane are enjoying themselves, Scooby has to move because of her allergy to dogs. Or in other words, just so we can get a joke about a dog barking at a cat. As a matter of fact, shouldn't that cat be in carry-on?
Grandma?
Velma. It's simple behavior modification. To cause a dog to discontinue any action, you simply flick it on the nose. Observe. Scoob. See?
I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Fred flicks Scooby in the nose, and his response is to deck him right in the face? I know I should be laughing, but I'm shocked that a freaking dog just performed physical assault. Is it because he saw the Wing Commander movie?
No bad dogs, my ass.
They land on the island and are introduced to their host, Emil, played by Rowan Atkinson, as he explains to them that the people who come to the island act different when they leave.
Hey, Carol, how's the island?
Are you tricking on me?
Carol, it's me. It's Brad. We've known each other since we were like 3.
Back off my grill, son!
Carol, what are you doing?
Okay, there's two possibilities. One, it's her time of the month, or two, his hair. I mean, what the hell type of look is he going for? It's like if you went into the barber and asked for the hairstyle of a blue shell from Mario Kart. Later that night, Velma goes to a performance just to see if there's anything suspicious going on, but it doesn't last long as we see the host for the night, Nagoo. And before he came out, he was probably working on his Molaram cosplay. Also, apparently he has a luchador as his sidekick. I don't know why, just go with it. Anyway, he tells everyone there a spooky tale about monsters that were once on the island.
10 years ago, a real Mortavarius antagonized these ancient beings by building a theme park here. The creatures are furious, my friends. They plot their revenge.
So they had the Ghostbusters Demon Dogs there? Oh please, let this be a crossover.
I assure you, while you party...
You sure that's the take you want to go with?
While you party...
Really? Okay then. After that campfire ghost story, I hope everyone enjoys the party! While they all party, Shaggy and Mary Jane, okay screw it. I'm gonna call her the best name because of this obvious dumbass joke. While Shaggy and Maui Wowie are having fun, Daphne comes to take him and Scooby to a castle where it just so happens that Fred and Velma are there as well.
Daphne, exit through the entrance. Velma and I will enter here through the exit there. And Shaggy and Scooby, do whatever you guys do.
Random fist pump. They split up and walk through the Tim Burton mansion, where it turns out that it's actually an amusement park ride. As Daphne is carried away by a cart, Shaggy and Scooby are attacked by fake food.
It's plastic!
What do you care? You drink out of the toilet?
So do you!
Where we also learn some issues Shaggy might have. And Fred and Velma are trying to dodge giant blades on pendulums. Okay, if those are real, why hasn't anyone filed a lawsuit on this place? Six Flags has better safety than this death trap. Fred gets launched through a window, luckily without any cuts or lacerations, as they stumble upon a control room and notice a video that might explain what's happening to the people that come to the island.
Interaction between young people is polite and casual.
Hey, sorry, bro.
I will crush your bones into dust!
Clearly Chad has taken steroids.
Let's see how the situation should be handled.
Hey, sorry, bro.
No big whoop, dog. Yo, did you catch that new vid on the box?
True that. I'm up to snuff on all popular trends.
Word.
It seems to be a brainwashing facility of some type.
Isn't it obvious? It's just white people trying to act cool.
Oh, come on! Doesn't everybody talk like that?
No.
Well then, you're just not lit, fam.
Afterwards, we get a very much needed scene of Shaggy and Scooby burping and farting. And I'm not kidding when I say that this goes on for a full minute.
Pull my finger. Uh-oh, too late. You're in trouble.
Oh boy!
The writer of Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody. Oh, I'm not kidding. James Gunn actually wrote both of these movies. So, aside from the offensive tweets, do you think he was fired for writing this one scene? Another thing I noticed that the director for both of these was Roger Gosnell. I guess it's his thing to do shitty dog movies and shitty cartoon adaptations. They get out of there, but not before grabbing an artifact that looks more like the Yu-Gi-Oh toy I once got at Burger King. While Velma's examining it, this guy walks in and starts a conversation with her.
You really dig doing this, huh? Like, clues and stuff.
Certainly.
I would call this character by his name, but technically, he doesn't have one. He's literally credited as Velma's friend on the film's IMDb page. That's kinda sad. She tells him about the good times the gang had in the past, but said it was ruined by Scrappy Doo. Lots of people seem to be divided on this character. Some like him, while others despise him. Personally, I can't comment on any love or hatred on him, mainly because I never grew up with him. I can recall watching one episode of the cartoon that Scrappy was in, but that's it. I don't remember how I felt about him back then either.
Scrappy, for the 1,000th time, there's no such thing as ghosts.
Sure there are. And when I find them, I'll give them a good dose of puppy power. Ta-da!
Oh god, he's peeing on me!
Well, since they did a full minute of burps and farts, it was about time to do a pissing joke. They kick Scrappy out of the van as the flashback ends. Oh, I sure hope that pointless scene doesn't result in Scrappy coming back later in the film for a stupid-ass twist.
You'll be sorry!
Scooby notices one of the monsters in the goo brought up earlier outside. Okay, maybe it's just me, but I don't feel like these monsters belong in Scooby Doo. I mean, look at the scene out of context. Would you think it was from anything remotely related to Scooby Doo? Keep in mind that I grew up with other films from this franchise like Zombie Island and The Witch's Ghost, where it wasn't the usual guy in a Halloween costume. But then again, maybe it's just me. Also, the design of these monsters aren't even that creative. They almost look like stretched out gremlins. Plus, all they did was just copy and paste them without anything to make them look different. The CGI is almost on the line of a PS2 game. Anyway, the monsters take everyone there, including Velma and Fred, as Daphne, Shaggy, Scooby, and Maui Wowie are the only ones who escaped.
We need to follow them.
Say what?
So we can defeat the creatures and save Fred and Velma.
Well, that's sort of like my plan. We just get the heck out of here and let the creatures eat Fred and Velma.
Okay, even I have to admit, that's pretty messed up.
I get that Shaggy's a coward, but wanting to leave without saving his friends is so out of character for him.
Like, screw you guys, I'm going home!
Maui Wowie gets the idea to call the Coast Guard, as we get this guy's bizarre response.
Well, we do have a unit in the vicinity. Can you meet him at the pier?
Uh-huh.
All right, they'll be right there. Our friends have been kidnapped.
Okay, that happened. No, seriously, what the hell was up with that? He tells his friend that people were kidnapped and begins to do an evil laugh? Why? You would think that he might be working for the villain, but no. He doesn't come back later in the movie, so it just makes this evil laugh pretty pointless. Imagine if I did that in real life. Yes, hello. Can I get a medium-sized pepperoni pizza, please? Mm-hmm. And, can I get a 2-liter cola with that? 30 minutes or less? Okay, thank you. Alright, bye-bye. 30 minutes or less. That would be super weird! They wake up the next morning to find out that nobody arrived on the island to help them, as we also see everyone there is having a party!
Fred, what up, dog? And, dog?
Keeping it real. Look what happened last night.
Man, we got beats like it was the listeners on Earth. You know what I'm saying, G?
Oh, so this is how Jimmy Kennedy got the idea for Malibu's Most Wanted. It turns out that everyone there is possessed by the monsters, as the luchador kidnaps Daphne and the monsters begin to chase Shaggy, Scooby, and Maui Wowie. But Scooby finds out that she's also one of the monsters, which results in him and Shaggy fighting.
Roll ripped! I'm whipped? Oh yeah? Well, why don't you say that to my face, man? Roll right now! No, Scooby-Doo, your mom eats cat poop! Bring it! You want some? You want a little piece of the shagster?
Whoa, watch out! He's gonna release his full demigod power!
Oh, quiet. Scooby falls down a trapdoor as Shaggy follows after him. He can't find him in this cave, but he does stumble upon a tub that has all the souls of the people who were possessed by the monsters. Again, maybe it's just me, but this doesn't scream Scooby Doo. Shaggy's able to find the souls of Velma, Daphne, and Fred as he sends them on their way back to their bodies. But Fred and Daphne's gets mixed up and are sent to the opposite person. While that happens, Velma's able to find that the monster's weakness is sunlight. You know, I was kidding about them looking like gremlins. You don't have to steal one of the rules from that movie.
Hey, I can look at myself naked.
Have I mentioned that this was supposed to be PG-13? Because either way, this is stupid. They all meet up and get back in their original bodies, as they found that the reason they were sent there was for Emil to get in reach of Scooby to use him as a sacrifice. So they come up with a plan and get in their positions. Fred and Velma blend into the crowd, Daphne will be outside to open the blinds letting in the sunlight, as Emil comes out for the ceremony and... I'm sorry, it's just... What the hell is he wearing? It looks like he raided the wardrobe of the artist formerly known.
There. Sure glad I don't look stupid in this.
We see Shaggy knocked out one of Emil's henchmen and stole his outfit, as he gets close enough to Scooby to apologize and tries to get him out of there.
I'm sorry I yelled at you. And I'm really sorry I haven't been a very good friend since we got here. But listen to me, bro. You gotta trust me now.
You don't trust me.
I do trust you, Scoob. Now look, who's your best buddy?
Raggy.
That's right. And who's my best buddy in the whole wide world?
Ruby Doo.
That's right, Scoob. You are. We're like two trippy peas in a far-out pod, man.
Okay, I do have to admit, that scene was pretty sweet. Two Bats followed by Scooby getting his soul ripped out. Yup, Scooby Doo dies as we see his body slumped over. Okay, actually, he's only mostly dead. You see, there's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead. As Shaggy grabs onto the crane holding Scooby's soul to knock over Emil, who's in the middle of absorbing the souls of everyone there. Again, maybe it's just me, but this doesn't feel like something that screams Scooby Doo. Anyway, Fred and Velma notice Emil's wearing a mask as they proceed to take it off. Of course, it all makes sense. Emil was a pretender transformer! Actually, no. It turns out that the real villain was... Scrappy Doo. What a twist? His whole plan was just to lure Scooby-Doo and the rest of Mystery Inc. there to the island so he can get his revenge for leaving him in the middle of the road. And to be fair, I think they deserve it. Because if I'm correct, Scooby's supposed to be his caretaker, and he was okay with leaving his nephew in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, kind of a dick move on their part. Scrappy also reveals that thanks to the souls he absorbed, he has enough power to destroy them all. Okay, I am 100% certain that this was not meant to be a Scooby-Doo movie. This was probably the script for another supernatural movie set on an island somewhere, but one of the writers saw their children watching Scooby-Doo and threw those characters in at the last minute. That's probably not true, but that's what I think happened.
This is totally ungroovy, Scoob!
Scooby-Doo, where are you?
So while Scrappy Rex is chasing after them, don't look at me, that's what they called him. As Daphne begins to fight Nagoo's luchador friend, I would make either a wrestling or Buffy joke, but I haven't seen neither, so I'm not gonna try.
Now who's the damsel in distress?
Me?
Straight up.
Oh yeah, apparently there was a thing about Daphne and making her a stronger character. I'm bringing this up now because I forgot to do so earlier. In fact, I think even the film forgot about it up until this point. He crashes through the blinds revealing the sunlight as the monsters come out of everyone and explode. Everybody is happy, even Fred and Daphne who... kiss? As far as my knowledge on the cartoon goes, I never really thought of them having a thing for each other. Either that, or Sarah and Freddy broke character seeing how they're a couple in real life. So Scrappy is taken away, the team is back together, as we get a Marvel-style mid-credit scene of Shaggy and Scooby eating peppers.
Scooby-Doo, you feeling okay?
Planning on not sleeping tonight? Slow the movie down when Scooby is screaming. You're welcome.
On the count of 3.
1, 2, 3.
We all know Shaggy's faking it. Nothing can hurt a god.
Let's move on to the next movie. Monsters Unleashed begins with the gang going to a huge banquet in a stretched Mystery Machine limo. which is honestly pretty cool, to a lot of fans waiting for them, like fangirls for Freddy, possible stalkers for Daphne, the triggered feminist meme for Velma, and some fan dogs for Scooby. I think we just found out how Gosnell got the idea for show dogs. I did kind of laugh when Shaggy's friends were a bunch of potheads, and it doesn't help that he's dressed up like a blunt. Anyway, the banquet was being broadcasted by a reporter played by Alicia Silverstone. To be fair, she's been in worse movies connected to a famous franchise, as they go inside to show off the costumes of all the monsters they caught. While this goes on, we see that Velma has the hots for this guy Patrick, played by Seth Green, as he proceeds to ask her out on a date.
Oh, I can't, Patrick.
Oh.
Mystery is my mistress. I must heed her sweet call.
Oh, come on, Velma. He might ask you and your friends to be in an episode of Robot Chicken. And yes, I know it's an obvious joke. Shut up. The night is then interrupted by a new evil masked figure, literally named Evil Masked Figure, and...
This is only the first rung on the ladder of your demise.
He looks like Mecha Don King.
Only in America.
He's able to make the ghost of the pterodactyl costume come to life as it drags around Shaggy and Scooby, then flies off with the evil masked figure with the rest of the costumes, which causes Felicia to do a report blaming them for the night, and also taking what they said out of context.
When asked for comment, Fred Jones, leader of Mystery Incorporated, had this to say.
Little old Coolsville can solve its problems without us.
I didn't say that.
And I guess little old cool
I did, but that's out of context.
Well, I am 100% sure that this is just normal news and not for some dumbass twist at the end of the movie.
You'll be sorry!
It's all my fault. I'm the one who told Shaggy and Scooby to get the ropes. No, Velma, it's my fault. I should have checked that they were tied before I let go.
It's my fault, too. We all know how Shaggy and Scooby can be.
Even though they still caught the criminal via hijinks in the cartoon, but why try to make reason with any of this? It's very clear that no one here has seen an episode of that. So I hope you enjoy this stupid side story as Shaggy and Scooby try to feel like they're still part of the gang by acting like real detectives.
I'm sorry, Daff, but your go-go boots didn't fit me.
Scooby, those so don't go with that sweater.
Really?
How is it that this looks worse than his grandma outfit in the last movie? They go into detail about the original pterodactyl ghost played by Tim Blake Nelson, who was a scientist that got sent away to prison after they caught him, as we see him trying to escape.
His body was lost at sea.
Sure it was. They managed to get a lead with a colleague who worked with Nelson, Jeremiah Winkles, the original Black Knight ghost, as they go to his house, which looks like the one from the show's opening, but are stopped by some heckling kids.
Hey! Nice job last night. Losers!
Quick, we need to think of a comeback.
What dorks?
Hey! Shut up!
It's a good one.
Yeah, it was, but I like the second take a lot better.
Hey!
Get out of the yard!
I'm gonna run that clip to the ground. They manage to get inside and find a book which reveals the evil masked figure's plan, and that is to turn these stolen costumes into real monsters. But their visit is cut short when they see the revived Black Knight ghost trying to kill him. Daphne tries to fight it off, but Velma finds its weak spot.
Being followed off 8 degrees north, which makes his weakest point right here!
Right in the round tables.
You know it's the early 2000s when both of these movies have done fart jokes and kicking someone in the junk. They go back home to look up more on why the evil masked figure is doing all this, but even that is cut short when Patrick comes by to try to ask Velma out. It seems she's too nervous to go out with him, so Daphne helps her and oh my god!
Who's your mommy?
Oh, you could be anything as long as you wear that. So while they essentially go on a double date, Shaggy and Scooby sneak out to go in disguise at a bar that holds all the old criminals they've unmasked. There, Shaggy comes across Jeremiah Winkles, played by the late Peter Boyle, who's probably there because he was one of many innocent people that started Pluto Nash.
If I see those twerps, I'd tear their eyes out of their skulls and make them eat the one eye while watching themselves eat it with the other eye.
Yep, definitely somebody that's starting in Pluto Nash.
Hey, handsome.
Hello, baby.
You. Okay, first Scooby punches someone in the face, now he's hitting on female women? What in the hell is going on in the world of Scooby Doo? Well, this is a film from the early 2000s. Might as well have a dance party! We got the Fred, Daphne, Velma, and Patrick arriving to the museum to only find that more of the costumes were stolen, which makes Patrick upset.
I'm sorry, I have to go, okay?
Well, I'll go with you.
No! No, I have to figure out what's going on.
Like, why was I in Family Guy for over 20 years? Meanwhile, Daphne tries to get some answers out of Alicia.
Why are you doing this?
Because it's my job to unmask those who pretend to be who they're not.
Look, I'm a huge fan.
Said no one when making this movie. But then the evil masked figure arrives to trick us into thinking that Alicia isn't the bad guy, because now they want us to think that it's Patrick.
Gotta put on the tough guy act, otherwise these guys will eat me alive.
It was a joke? Yeah. Oh, that was good. Look, Patrick, we could stay here and do this all night, and something tells me you would, but we gotta make like your personality and split.
Okay.
Now I'm just gonna stay here until the cross dissolve comes and... done. Shaggy and Scooby follow Winkles to an old mine shaft as they hide in bushes. Hey, take a guess on which one's shitty CG.
Winkles has led us into like a terrifying ghost town. Ghost town? Yes, a ghost town.
Well, that just works perfect with the scream he did in the last movie. Yeah, Scooby-Doo surprisingly has a lot of nightmare fuel. So Fred, Velma, and Daphne see Winkles and decide to call him out. But it turns out that his original intention was to turn the mines into an amusement park, which means they can cross him off as a suspect. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby find a lab at the bottom of the mine shaft.
Let's see, we got OJ, some purple stuff, milk, ooh, Sunny D.
Check it out. Look at those weird letters, Scoob.
Maggie?
Like Scoob, you're tentacle hentai! I just hope it doesn't get creepier than this.
I'm good at Chink's body.
Okay, that's just someone's post on DeviantArt. They continue to drink the mysterious liquids until Scooby turns into a genius. Essentially, the brain from Gremlins 2. Sorry I keep bringing up Gremlins in this video. I think it's because I like those puppets better than... well, this puppet. And Shaggy's now a bodybuilder.
Check out my pecs, little man.
Wow, look at the structure of this bodybuilding god.
Oh, just shut up! Look, at first the meme was kind of funny, but now you're just being an asshole about it!
So what? You want me to leave?
Yes!
I don't need this. I'm gonna make a lowercase Twitter post about you.
He'll be fine. They all meet up to find the Monster Maker machine. After splitting up, Shaggy and Scooby find a device when making noise sounds like music.
Cool. Like tunage. My name is Shaggy Flash, and I'm the best at solving crimes. When the monsters see my face, they start to scream and shake like a girl with Justin Timberlake.
Like Scoob, this shit's gonna be hot!
This is gonna be hot on SoundCloud.
Of course, not knowing that this is the device that turns on the machine, as it begins to create the rest of the monsters. And I do have to admit that it's pretty cool how they look almost like their cartoon counterparts. So finally they get something right in these movies.
We have to remain calm. Calm, Scooby-Doo! You're not being calm! I needed that. I needed that too. You're pushing your luck, Scoob.
Okay, that part was funny. They all get out of there with the monsters being free to terrorize the town.
My monsters can make life very unpleasant. Find me Mystery Inc. now.
Man, these Halloween parades are getting out of hand. They go back to her old clubhouse to hide, where we have a flashback to when they were kids. But looking back to how they look now, not much of a difference.
It all seemed so easy back then.
Yeah. We solve mysteries for the love of them. Not to prove anything to anyone.
Even though that's what solving a mystery pretty much means. They come up with a plan to modify the device, which will make the monsters go back to just being costumes. But they seem to find them, seeing how it's pretty much due to a place being called Mystery Inc., and then proceed to chase them again, this time throughout the city. They get back to the mines, but are stopped by the Black Knight and 10,000 Vault Ghosts. So for the night, they go with the obvious person to fight him. Fred. Even though Daphne knows how to fight this guy, but there are two reasons on why they did this. One, for Fred to make his dick feel bigger, and two, just so they can have Bon Jovi on the soundtrack.
By the way, audience, if you're asking where I got this horse, I pulled it out of my ass.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Daphne has a better chance with the 10,000 Vault Ghost.
Oh, scary. Taste the pain, Mr. Glowy Ugly Thing.
Dead. Oh, nope, completely fine. I guess anybody in this universe could be a demigod.
On your knees, knave.
Can't you see we're talking?
Talking is for wimps.
Can't fool me with that macho facade. You're just afraid to show your sensitive side.
Ooh, you've touched my inner child. And he's really mad! I am acting!
Oh hey look, another chase scene. Haven't seen that yet in this movie. But don't worry, it's followed by making us once again believe that Patrick is the bad guy, as he's then carried away by the pterodactyl ghost. You know, for being the first monster in this movie, he's barely in the damn thing. They try to get the device back to the machine, but big surprise, the monsters made it there first. Once the tar monster gets involved, it seems that the gang is out of commission, but Scooby comes equipped with a fire extinguisher that's somehow able to freeze tar. Well, to be fair, it's something to put in the advertisements for the movie.
You can't do this to me! Who do you think you are?
Scooby? Dooby? Doo!
Okay, being honest, that line was pretty badass.
Mr. Evil Masked Figure, we don't feel so good.
So the monsters are reverted to their original costumes, as we see that the evil masked figure is... gasp, it was Alicia the whole time.
Lucky for her, she had an assistant helping her along with her evil plans. Ned.
Who the hell's Ned? Oh, the cameraman we saw a grand total of 2 times? And that was just him being in the background? Man, these twists are just a mile a minute! But it also turns out that Alicia was actually the original pterodactyl ghost. I hope Tim Blake Nelson got a big paycheck for this movie.
You were a dude this whole time?
Of course, Dummkopf.
But we cuddled.
I always wonder why there was something touching my butt. But after the movie's over, they have yet another Marvel end credits scene. But unlike the last movie where it was an actual scene, this was just a commercial for the Game Boy Advance game.
Game Boy Advance Secret Code?
Wow, they're very sure to promote a game that didn't do very well.
Hey, listen, I just wanted to apologize for how I acted today. I guess I kinda got a little bit out of hand with me liking the meme and all.
Yeah, I think this was a good example of liking something way too much. I mean, look at some Rick and Morty fans.
I'm Pickle Rick! What below the dum Rick!
Yeah, that's pretty cringeworthy. So I just wanted to say that I'm sorry.
Okay. Apology accepted.
Thank you.
So now what? You gonna take the whole shoving something down people's throat thing and tone it down a bit?
Nah, cause now I'm gonna tell people about Cory in the House, the greatest anime ever made. See you later, hater!
You know, I really hope he doesn't become a recurring character. So that was the first 2 live-action Scooby-Doo movies. I'll give them this. Matthew Lillard was pretty good, the monsters in the second one were cool to see, and there were some scenes that made me chuckle, but they're still not very good. The writing was lame, the effects haven't aged well and looked bad, the majority of the jokes weren't funny, and the fake-outs in both movies were really, really stupid. Look, if you like these films, that's fine, more power to you. But as for me, these are 2 movies I won't be coming back to anytime soon. I mean, aside from what I just said, were there any upsides to either of these? Okay, that's one upside. Or at least, something went up. See you next time!
I assure you, while you party,